Alex, I think the key phrase you used in quoting Hamid Gul there was about these corporations that are involved is they have an incentive, he said, to expand the alleged threat, to create conditions in which their contracts will be extended, expanded, and inadequately supervised. And that's absolutely correct. And that, as I said, is the by corporate law as practiced in courts. That is the obligation of the corporate leadership, is to do everything legally possible to enhance the profits to the shareholders.
But the CIA isn't allowed without warrants on paper to spy on the American people. How do they then come out and admit that there's almost 1 million private contractors with the highest security clearance spying on the American people? I mean, Poindexter 6 to 7 years ago got in trouble for Total Information Awareness Network, and then the Washington Post reported, well, they just made it private, so that's okay. I mean, to me, that makes it even more illegal.
Yeah, well, I would say the question of legality, of course, will be handled in the courts. And one of the unfortunate, and I can tell you this from a lot of direct experience with this in cases, I used to put out a publication called Unclassified for some years. It ceased publication about 8 or 9 years ago now, a little longer than that. But I had a section in there, which I published every 2 months, on shadow justice, describing the way the United States courts, at the local and especially at the federal level, handled cases in which the government came forward and argued classified material, national security, and the general 99%, with the exception, by the way, of Judge Walsh, who handled the Iran-Contra cases, who was, in my view, one of the great heroes of the American legal system.
So the default is...
But the point I'm going to make here is that when you're talking about the courts and is it illegal, is 90% of the cases, the federal courts will wash their hands of any case in which the government comes forward and says national security, classified material, and I've heard this phrase used over and over again. Well, as the judges, we can't understand the intricacies of the intelligence system, which is like a great mosaic, you see, and if you only move one tile in it, it could disrupt the whole thing. So, case dismissed.
Well, that's the issue since 1947 with the National Security Act. Tens of trillions of dollars spent, total secrecy. Mm-hmm. Even if it began good, which the evidence shows it clearly didn't, I mean, it's an absolute 100% prescription for tyranny.
Well, it certainly leads that way, and I think one of the things that I have focused on over the years is this use of the term national security, which has no real definition. And one of the, marks that you can give, the plus mark you can give to Dwight Eisenhower, who, of course, warned about the military-industrial complex and leaving, but who's deliberately refused to use the term national security. He said, national defense I can understand. He says, national security, what is that? And there is no legal definition for it, but it's been used to, justify or at least rationalize a whole range of government activities over the years, which, I think you accurately describe as tyrannical, certainly unconstitutional.
Well, David, we know why Eisenhower really got upset. He even wrote about it some. L.L. Limser came to him and said, we want to bomb D.C. and Miami, attack Marine Corps bases, and blame it on the Cubans and the Russians, and he said no. They brought it to Kennedy, and he fired him. So we know why he was getting concerned.
Oh, yeah. No, there are, believe me, there are not, when you say that, the reaction of most people is to say, well, what kind of nutcases are those who can, walk into the Oval Office and give that sort of advice to a president of the United States, that there must be something wrong with the system that allows these people to go around with, not wearing a straitjacket. But, but there are these people, and part of it, of course, is the reaction. There's a famous instance early on in the history of the CIA when concern was being expressed about activities, which, going back to Iran, was the great success in overthrowing the elected government of Iran back in the 1950s.
Operation Ajax.
Yes, of course. And when Alan Dulles, head of the CIA, and a very crafty guy, by the way, proposed that to the Senate that he would like to bring in groups of senators and explain to them exactly what this new CIA was doing, is the then senior senator from Massachusetts told him, no, there are things we'd rather not know about.
So there's also this implied consent where the government really does know what's going on. They just like to basically have that plausible deniability. Stay there, sir. Retired senior CIA analyst. We'll talk more with him straight ahead.
Attention, this is a special alert to all Americans who owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS. The IRS is now accepting reduced settlements from people who owe back taxes and dramatically lowering amounts owed. Due to the financial crisis in America, the IRS has announced a leniency plan in recognition of consumers' financial troubles in today's economy. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS, an open phone line has been established by American Tax Settlement for you to call and see if you qualify for a reduction by up to 75%. Number to call is 800-902-6969. Again, the IRS is now accepting reduced settlements from consumers who owe back taxes in response to the decline in today's economy. If you are struggling with $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS, you now may be eligible for a dramatic reduction by up to 75% and save thousands of dollars. For free information and to see if you qualify, call the open phone line into American Tax Settlement now. 800-902-6969. 800-902-6969. Again, 800-902-6969.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
We have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You have been warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty films.
This is not a drill.
Repeat.
This is not a drill.
Gun sales are on a staggering pace.
Gun prices are going through the roof, and that means desperate, vicious criminals now want your guns
and will do anything to get them.
Now, a new book reveals powerful secrets for hiding your guns from thieves and looters. You'll learn step-by-step, battle-hardened techniques, where to hide your guns so criminals will never find them,
how to create the perfect hiding place,
as well as the places you should never hide your guns.
Under any circumstance.
These and other closely guarded gun caching secrets are guaranteed to keep your weapons safe and out of sight when the going gets tough.
But listen up.
For security reasons, the Hide Your Guns book and even the website may disappear without warning at any time. Go to hideyourguns.com.
That's hideyourguns.com.
Or call 877-327-0365.
Before they come for your guns.
Hideyourguns.com right now. Right now.
Okay, let's go straight back to retired CIA analyst and whistleblower David MacMichael. This is a short segment, so let's get right to it. And we appreciate you joining us, sir. We're seeing a near identical repeat of the propaganda used on Iraq 8 years ago, again with Iran. Can you speak to this?
Yeah. This has been going on for a very long time, and I call it the creation of a false crisis involving Iran and its nuclear program. Now, to put it in the shortest way possible, Iran, which is an original signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty back in the 1970s under the Shah's government, of course, when the United States was very eager to assist Iran in developing a nuclear power industry, has been charged since the overthrow of the Shah and the establishment of the Islamic Republic with the intention to not simply to develop a nuclear power industry, but that is a cover for its desire to produce nuclear weapons, which, of course, is prohibited by the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, the NPT. Well, these accusations have been made for a very long time. The Iranians have insisted, as a matter of fact, their chief spiritual leader, and I have my problems with the Sharia types who dominate a certain aspect of Iranian public life. They have emphasized, even in that period, that Islamic law prohibits the manufacture or use of these weapons of mass destruction, nuclear weapons, and so forth. But in any case, it's been an article of faith, excuse the expression, coming both from certain elements in our foreign policy establishment, and especially from Israel and its adherents and followers in the United States. I think we can use the AIPAC, the American Israeli Political Action Committee, as the symbol of this, to insist that Iran is deliberately pursuing this creation of nuclear weapons, which represents an existential threat to Israel, particularly, and subsequently, of course, to the United States and its interests in the Middle East. Now, I should emphasize that the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, which is charged under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty to investigate and the nuclear programs of every country in the world, consistently found that Iran was not engaged in or intending the production of nuclear weapons. 3 years ago, there was a national intelligence estimate. These are products produced by the National Intelligence Council, the grouping of all the United States intelligence agencies, which found that despite the uproar that Iran had ceased any nuclear weapons programs back in 2003 and had not reconstituted them. Now, I know a little bit about these types of programs. Brazil, even Sweden, Argentina, other countries have them. As a matter of fact, any country which has a significantly sized military has nuclear weapons programs in the sense that studies are done within their military.
David MacMichael, we've got a break. We're back in 70 seconds. We'll continue where we left off. Stay with us.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for